What is the leading cause of running-related injuries? It's not what you may think. It has nothing to do with your shoe selection or lack of strength training or biomechanics and running technique. Those things can play a part, and yes, they can result in injury, but they're not the biggest cause of running-related injuries. The biggest cause is poor setup training programs. When it comes to running training programs, I see people make three big mistakes. The first of those mistakes is taking on too much volume too early on in the program. If you're someone who's going from not running at all to trying to run 5Ks a week, then it's going to be too much for your body. If you're someone who's already doing a bit of running, let's say you're doing 5 to 10k a week and you try and ramp that straight up to 20 to 30k, again, it's going to be too much for your body. The best way to set up your training program is slow, steady progress, just increasing by a tiny bit of volume each week. This allows your body a proper chance to adapt to the stimulus that you're giving it. So if you've got a marathon coming up, give yourself plenty of time to train for that marathon so that you can steadily increase your volume. The second mistake that I see a lot of people make is not factoring in rest periods. When you're putting together your training program, you should be thinking about having a deload week every sort of 4 to 6 weeks. A week where you dramatically drop the volume and give yourself a chance to properly recover. A lot of people panic that they're going to lose all the progress they've made in that week. That's just not going to happen. But actually, you're going to find that after that deload week, you feel a lot better, your body has recovered, and your training is going to be a lot more productive, and you're going to dramatically reduce the risk of something going wrong and you having an injury. And the third mistake that I see a lot of people make is not having enough distinction between their easy runs and their hard runs. If I'm honest, this is still the part of the training that I struggle with in my own running. But what we should be doing is, if we're training for endurance running rather than sprints, then we should be looking at 80% of our training being made up of really nice, easy miles. And by that I mean running at a pace that we could hold a conversation at. And then 20% of our training should be those harder runs. So that's when we're doing our interval training or racing a sort of 3 to 5k distance or doing our hill sprints and stuff like that. The problem is most of us sit kind of in the middle of that, where all of our runs are at a similar sort of pace. So we haven't got those easy runs where we're getting lots of mileage without having an injury risk, and we've not got those hard runs, so we're also not making the progress we want with things like our speed. So having that distinction is really important when putting together your training programs. So there we have it. In my opinion, the best way to avoid running related injuries is to make sure you have a good strategic training plan in place. All those other things such as shoe selection, strength training, things like your biomechanics and your running technique, as I say, they do make a difference, but there's no point worrying about those things until you've got a solid, proper, progressive plan in place. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.